Hello guys, welcome to my channel once again. Today I'll be showing you how to make a bubu dress with yoke, and I'll be using an Ankara fabric for this tutorial. It has been folded into 4 and you can see the printed edge on the other hand there. So I have folded it into 4. So the next thing to do is to take the dress length. Then the dress length for the purpose of this tutorial is 61 inches dress length, and I've added the 1.5 inch sewing allowance and hemming allowance. So because I will use 1/2 inch to join the shoulder, and on this shoulder I'll be taking the shoulder measurement divided by 2, the shoulder to shoulder divided by 2. Then from there I'm going to place the tape and take all the vertical measurements from the bust to the under bust, to the half length, and to the hip length. So the first one is the bust. The bust, I will add 1/2 inch joining allowance on the shoulder to it. The under bust length, I will also add 1/2 inch joining allowance to it. The half length or the waist, I added 1/2 inch joining allowance to it also. And the hip 30 is what she's using, and the hip 30 on the length. I'm taking the vertical measurement right now, and the gown half length is the last one. So from there I will label all the measurements, bust, under bust, so that there won't be confusion, the hip and the gown half length. So the next thing to do is to take the upper chest measurement, because it is very essential while we are taking our armhole. The upper chest measurement is 4 inches away from the bust line. 4 inches away from the bust line is because the person is a little bit busty, and the circumference measurement will be input here. The circumference measurement of the bust divided by 4 is what I just input. Then I will add 1 inch ease allowance. 1 inch ease allowance, because this is folded into 4, is 4 inches altogether, and it's enough for ease on the cloth. So the under bust also, I'm going to just remove 1/2 inch from the bust measurement. Whatever I have on the bust, I will just remove 1/2 inch from it, and I will place it on the under bust, because this is a very free ground. And also on the half length or the waist measurement, I can replace what is on the under bust on the waist. I can place what is on the under bust on the waist. So I'm going to place the same measurement that is on the bust line. I will just add 1/2 inch to it and place it on the upper chest. I hope you get that. So I'll connect the lines like so. So I've connected it from the upper chest up to the waist. The next thing is to input the the actual hip measurement plus 1 inch has been input, and on the half length I'll just come inward. Whatever is on the hip is what I'll place on the half length, but I'll just remove 1/2 inch measurement from it. That's why I come in a little bit. Whatever is on the hip is what I input on the half length. I just remove 1/2 inch or 1 inch from it. Then I'll connect it down to the hem line of the dress like so. For it, you can make it straight. You may not bend your hand. This is just like a line, but you can make your own straight. It depends on how you want it to be, but I want it to be free on the hem line. That's why I make it a line. So this, I'm going to sew through this. You can see I'm chalking on the right side of the Ankara fabric. I needed to tell you this because this is a bubu. I'm going to stitch on the right side, so that's why I'm putting my chalk on the right side of the fabric, which I'm going to clean it after I'm done with the sewing. So right now the next thing to do is to input the neckline measurement. This is the neck width. 4 inches has been input here, and the neck depth is 4, because my client is extra large, so that's why it's 4 by 4. If it's a medium-sized person, you can use 3 by 3 or 3.5 by 3.5 will be okay. So the back neckline is what I just took. The back neckline depth is only 1 inch. It's still the same width but different depth, and I just took the shoulder slope of 1.5 inch on that hand, Then I will cut the neckline, the back neckline first. We are cutting for the two together, so you first of all cut the one that is small. So I first of all cut the one that is not too deep, which is the back neckline. So from there I'll cut through the shoulder. This is the shoulder slope of ½ inch I'm cutting through. And the next thing to do is to mark my yoke. It has a yoke. The yoke depth is 9 inches. I'm checking it up with the bust line so that it will not be too deep. So, and I'm trying to make the sleeve length also here. I added like 3 inches sleeve length to the shoulder, and I'll connect it to the 9 inches that I marked here. It depends on what you are. This depends on you. Whatever you want to make. This is 7 inches from the neckline, and it's 9 inches here. So I'm going to connect it around like so. So you can make the neckline wider than this. It depends on what you want, but this measurement is okay by me. So I'm going to cut the yoke right now. Remember, we have not cut the front neckline. We only cut the back neckline on both. So I just notch this. It's not that necessary anyway, because this is where the sleeve will start from where I just notched. So, but we are putting the sleeve is together with the yoke. So the next thing to do is to cut the yoke. This material is a lace material, so I'll be using very small lace. I'll be using it for the yoke. And also, this what I'm trying to cut here is there is like 3 inches width strand that I'm going to put on the neckline before I add the yoke. So, and that is what I'm trying to trim out, and after this I will be cutting the yoke. So this is just to add design to your neckline. It's not compulsory, it depends on you. If you prefer it, you can add it. And so this is how I'm going to add it before I put the yoke. I'm going to add it on this neckline like so. I'm going to add it like so. I can pleat it a little, go on and on like that, and add it before I place the yoke. So I hope this is very simple to make. And the next thing is to bring the yoke that I cut, and I have folded this into 4. You can see where the folded edge is. This is the center front and center back. I'm starting the cutting from the center front and center back, then I'll cut through. You can see that I'm using the back to cut the back and the front together. So I'll cut like so. So I added ½ inch to the lace as I'm cutting it. You can see that I didn't cut exactly from the Ankara fabric. I added ½ inch to it, so as that will serve as my joining allowance to the Ankara fabric. I hope you get that. So the next thing to do, as I told you, is that I'll first of all add this on the neckline, on the wider neckline, before I will now join the yoke to it. So this I'm going to pleat it bit by bit. I'll pleat it round, then I'll make sure I notch the center front and center back such that the yoke on the center front will match the bodice on the center front. I hope you get that. So this is the yoke, and I'm going to cut the neck. The depth of the front is by 4, and I have connected it to the width. So I will be cutting it like so. So I have this as my front. The front neck must be deep a little, and this is the back neckline. So for it to be easy to wear, this is just like a form of design. This is a depth. So the depth of 5 inches, I'm going to slit it a little. This is just a design. It depends on you. You can make this type of design and you may not make it. You can see I slit it through to that point. So I'm going to put a loop on this end, on this back, and a button. So you can put a press button or normal button. So this is the bodice. This is the shoulder. I first of all join the shoulder together. join the shoulder to shoulder together, and I will loose one like so. After I have joined the two shoulder to shoulder, I will loose one like this, and I'll place the strand that I told you I'm first of all going to attach to the bodice. So I'm going to attach it by 1/2 inch like so, and pleat it bit by bit. So I will attach it on and on like that till I get to the end of the neckline. So I've almost gotten to the end of attaching this strand. The strand width I told you about is like 3 inches or 3.5 thereabout. So the length is, you can cut as long as you needed it. So after doing that, I'm going to attach this on the shoulder, place the shoulder to shoulder, and then join it together on this shoulder. So I've joined the shoulder that I loosed the other time. I've joined it together again. I only lose it so as to be able to place this designed strand. So this is how it will look. So, and you can see we have not placed the yoke, and I've notched the center back. You can see this is the back. I notched it, so I now bring the yoke of the back to match that center back of the dress. So I'm trying to match it so that it will be able to align well. So the right side of the yoke will be facing the right side of the dress. Then I'm going to stitch by 1/2 inch all along. So, and that is what I'm doing right now. I'm going to go carefully and follow the yoke pattern. So I'll stitch it carefully. I'm going to stitch that carefully, attach it to the yoke carefully. So don't pull, because if I pull, the yoke will be more surplus than the bodice. So I did not pull. So I attach it carefully till I get to the end of it all. So please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. If you have any comments, you can drop it in the comment section, and I'm going to give you a reply as soon as I see it. Thank you. So right now we have almost gotten to the end of attaching the yoke, and you can see how neat and beautiful it is. So this is the yoke. This is the yoke part. This is the neck, the back neck. I'm going to use a bias to turn the neck, the back neck, and also the front neck. I'm going to use a bias to do that. So I'm going to put a link in the description box where I use bias tape to turn the neck of an abaya dress. So you can click on that to learn how to turn the neck with bias tape. I hope you understand that. So here the design at the back is just for it to be easy to wear when you want to wear your dress. And as I told you, I will use a bias tape to do the turning of that, and it will be so neat by the time I finish turning it with the bias tape. Here you can see I told you the measurement is put on the right side of the fabric, and here you're going to, this is the hemline, the side, you're going to fold it by 1 inch and stitch it. So here I can follow the chalk and stitch through to the hemline. So we have come to the end of the tutorial. Oh, I wish to see you in my next tutorial. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.